Gonna do is once I have to wait 12 hours, but I'm gonna cut this whole part out and start all over again. So if you're watching this live or as a video, welcome to Tarot Time, and welcome to the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message to help you with the awakening process. So happy Father's Day, happy summer solstice, happy Litha, happy Juneteenth. Do you guys know what Juneteenth means? I think it's something about freeing the slaves from Texas in 1965. 1865, I think, on June 19th. So I think that it became just a holiday. I think it was signed as a national holiday last year as a celebration of freedom. So let's celebrate freedom and yay, perseverance. Yeah, so far so good. Fingers crossed that this will work out. So anyhow, lots going on. So what we do here in Tarot Time is we talk about the week ahead. I do a 3-card spread. I do a little tarot tutorial sometimes, meditation card, angel message, message from our animal totem guides. And really, this is to help us. We are here. We're in an awakening process. It's a beautiful, amazing time to be alive, but it's also challenging. Now that we're at the high sun, if we're in the northern hemisphere, for those of you in the southern hemisphere, it's the winter solstice. But the solstices are all about the sun, and we can use the powers of the sun to shine deep within us to clear all the shadows and all that's hidden in our subconscious and all the programming. So we could actually do a little meditation today, tomorrow. I mean, the solstice is technically happens on Tuesday morning, but we're in it right now. And you can just kind of either meditate on the sun and just visualize the sun just illuminating your body and your aura and giving you the insight to be able to see or sense what may be what messages that you need about your own life, what's working, what's not working, what do we need improvement. I had a few things come up the last couple of weeks, and I just took it as a little bit of misfortune, honestly, but I took it as Spirit's way of saying that I need to kind of change things up a little bit. The way that I'm doing things is only going to lead to the results that I'm already having. So if I want greater results, I can't keep doing the same thing. So that's basically what the energy is about. Now, I have the Emperor card up here, by the way, and this is what I wanted to talk about because it's Father's Day, and the Emperor is the father card. It's ruled by Mars, but it's also a 4. It's key 4. So there's a element of the planet Uranus with it also. But this card can teach us about our relationship with our father and those we look up as a father, as well as authority figures. And we can also take this as a message about cultivating our divine masculine or our divine, more active principles in our lives. And doesn't have anything to do with male or female. It's more like the divine male principle, the yang principle. So I just wanted to put this up here. And what else? So a lot's been going on in the news. We did talk about things starting to pick up. Now, we talked for like the last 3 or 4 weeks about that I was seeing like problems with heat waves, and we're certainly there right now. There's a couple of others, I can't think of it now, but there's a couple of other things that came up in the last week or two that have actually happened. Oh yeah, the big one is the big R word, right? We've talked about for months about the economy and the coming recession because we've been in mass inflation, and the Feds raised the prime rate 0.75%. So when the prime rate goes up, that I'm not an economist, but just for a little bit of background knowledge or whatever, what I've seen, that often leads to a recession. So the stock market's been a little bit crazy, but we've been telling you about this here. And before I what's the right word, toot my own horn too much, there's things that come up that don't necessarily come to pass when or at all, but that's the nature of time. It's fluid. It's all conscious, so we're creating it. But and so far, no seismic activity around the West Coast or the other areas that I talked about, more towards the Mediterranean, and there's another area. This all came through last. I don't remember, but anyways, so that's what's been going on. Also, there's the abortion stuff. There's the trials that are going on, from 1/6. So there's a lot going on in the news. And again, as we always say, and a lot of spiritual people will tell you, not just myself, that we just really have to like shut it all out. I mean, be aware what's going on, but also understand a lot of this is control, it's programming, it's trying to just kind of herd the masses into a certain way of thinking, a certain way of acting, a certain way of believing. And a lot of it's emotional. Programming triggers the emotion. So, a lot of us just react emotionally to things, and we don't know why. And on some level or another, it's from programming, whether it's subconscious childhood programming or media programming or whatever it is. The subconscious mind works on programs, and our emotional responses and our nature are largely programmed into us. So the way to start to break that, as we say all the time, this wouldn't be Adam if I did not say this today as well, is we learn how to step back and observe rather than participate. So in other words, if I'm having a bad day or something happened and I'm pulling my hairs out or I want to punch something, rather than being that out of control freak that wants to punch walls or whatever, I'll step back and watch that out of control freak want to punch walls. And then at that moment, I'm not the program anymore. I'm watching the program. I know. I'm sounding very much like the Joe Dispenza now, but it's true. And these are practices that we can take, like everyday practices that we can take into our lives to improve ourselves. And the better that we are, and the less that we react negatively, and the more that we stay in our heart, which is staying in our power, the more positivity we create in our lives. And then if we do that as a collective, like in other words, if I'm teaching you guys this, or I shouldn't even say teaching, but if I'm reminding you guys of this, and then you're reminding your friend, and they're reminding their friend, then all of a sudden the collective consciousness starts to shift also. And then it's easier for everybody to awaken. So that's the idea. Now that the sun is strong, it's high in the sky here in the northern hemisphere, you let the light shine in, let the light of spirit shine in. So let's pull a meditation card. And what's going on astrologically? Moon is in Pisces. So we have a beautiful, soft, gentle, I don't know how soft and gentle it is, but we have a beautiful waning gibbous Pisces moon right now. Great time for meditation. Great time, again, for being aware of how we're emotionally triggered and where that comes from. Just take a peek. Thank you, Sharita, for sharing. Weather's going to be extremely intense for the rest of the summer, all over. Yep. Expect this to continue, and it's interesting. It's not just here. Western Europe is baking also. Places that rarely see 100 degrees in July and August are seeing it in June in Western Europe now also. From what I understand, not so much Great Britain, but you go south of the English Channel, France, Spain, and then in meteorological terms, it's called an omega block. When weather systems really don't move, they kind of form the shape. The upper air patterns form this omega shape. So basically, the middle of the country stays hot. Here in the Northeast, I feel like this pattern is going to continue. So we'll get our share of heat because most of the country is going to be hotter than average. But we'll also have these refreshing, I believe, Canadian air masses coming into the Northeast and maybe around the Pacific Northwest. But if you're in the Midwest, even California, West Coast, gear up for a hot summer and probably a dry summer in those areas also. Now, when there's extreme heat, especially when there's cold pockets of air to the sides, what happens is there's a lot of thunderstorms. So we also have talked about flooding in the past. West Yellowstone got flooded out, so we're going to see that as we have basically every other summer. So this is nothing new, but we're going to see a lot of flooding in some areas where thunderstorms just set up and they don't move and they just keep raining out in the same areas. And everything's conducive for an active tropical season also. So the weather's changing now. There's a lot of conjecture, is this change natural? And that I don't have the answers for, but I will put it out this way, that I do know from studying meteorology and going to school for it, and knowing what I know, that we absolutely do have the technology to drive major weather systems on the planet. It absolutely exists. Is it being used? Is this a conspiracy to promote new products, green products, or whatever? And by the way, I'm all in on green, and I recognize carbon dioxide emissions as enhancing the issues of global warming. Like, I fully get that and everything. But I will also say I've been checking out different articles and things, and there's places in Europe that they're suffering from a heat wave, but they went over to this green energy, and a lot of it's driven by the wind. And sometimes when these domes of hot air, it's high pressure, settles over an area, the wind stops blowing, and the lights go out. So I'm all for burning fossil fuels. Not good, not a good thing. I don't feel like it's good. I think there's much cleaner, much safer. Well, maybe safer is not the right word, but much more efficient forms of energy. But setting up turbines and even solar power may not be it. I think there's other alternatives there. But whether we're talking about conspiracy theory, conspiracy fact, or whatever, who benefits? We have to look at that as well. Like where does the chain of money and power go, and who's going to make money with these changes? And you can start to get an idea that way. So anyhow, so far my screen has been cooperating beautifully. I don't know how many people I lost, but oh well. So here is our meditation card for the week. And this one, this is like the fourth week in a row. It's been court cards, third or fourth week in a row. Court cards are like the pages, knights, queens, and kings. And the idea when we do our meditation with tarot, the way I suggest is get clear, get present like any other meditation. Either you can use a snapshot of this card, which is the Hanson Roberts deck, or if you have your own card, use your own, but take a mental snapshot if you're visual. I mean, if not, set the intention. Not everybody holds mental images. We just did a video on that. If you're one of those that don't have the easiest time holding mental images, especially when it comes to like law of attraction work or anything, we just did an upload on that. It's on the channel. It's the last video that we released, and I offer techniques for non-visual people. So if you're not visual, set the intention, step into the card anyway in your mind, and then either see or experience what's going on. Like in your meditation, you step into the card, there's a whole panoramic view. There may be other figures other than this king. But I feel like when the card cards come up, and they've been coming up a lot, treat that like a spirit guide or an advisor, and see what messages that you get. And so anyhow, let me do a 3-card spread now. Before I forget, the Medium channel is turning 2 years old. Happy birthday to us. We did actually, we uploaded the trailer on the 19th, so technically today's the 2-year anniversary, but we celebrate on the 21st because that's when I did the first live event. So we're going to celebrate by doing mediumship. Of course, it's free because it's here on the Medium channel on Tuesday, the 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we do giveaways also. And for about an hour, I just get messages and put them out there and see if we can pick up on. I try to pick up on as many people's loved ones on the other side as possible. Now, moving right along. Wednesday, we're going to do some solstice channeling with the master teachers. Sunday, I was going to call you Doreen Virtue. Sorry about that. Doreen from the Children's School of Yoga is going to join us on the Medium channel to do a little bit of a solstice asana, do some yoga practice with us. So that'll be 5 p.m. next Sunday, several hours after tarot time. I think, Sharita's coming on the following week to give us a summer outlook. Sharita starts on the thread with us now, so you can introduce yourself if you don't know her. She's an amazing, knowledgeable astrologer, numerologist, and is very up on lexicograms and words and a lot of knowledge there. So she's going to share with us the summer perspective. What date is that? Are we doing that Wednesday, the 30th or Tuesday? It's in my calendar. It'll be up on the comments. And Sharita, you know what date it is. So if you don't mind posting what day you're going to be on, that would be really helpful. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. 29th of June. That's what I thought. So that's a Tuesday, I believe, right? I think that's Tuesday. All right. It's Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's the 29th. That's the date. Also, on that note, Thursdays uploads about using sound currents and Om in your spirituality. Fridays, my son Odin's birthday. He's turning 23. So happy birthday, Odin. Great. So I am asking Spirit to give us the best 3 cards that can help us on our journeys this week to sort out all the craziness that's going on in the world and to help us to step into our power and to be, to make this as positive a time as possible. It's interesting because when I'm doing the Spirit showing me the image of an onyx ring, and this may be somebody's loved one that's coming through, especially if there's a reference to either June the 15th or July the 15th. But onyx is very grounding and very empowering. And as I'm pulling cards, they're also showing me images of coyotes. So beware the cosmic tricksters and understand, to be discerning, that we can get, tricked and fooled by others that may be programmed or may be more, connected to, shall we say, less light and love and empowerment. But the thing with the coyote, and I wonder if that'll come up as our animal totem also, is that the trickster is a teacher, and we have to remember that we get tricked into learning sometimes. So anyhow, I got 3 cards. And here we have it. So let me see. First, we'll show you now that we actually have a screen, that we actually have a picture here. So here are the 3 cards that we got. So this is the 2 of Wands or Rods. This is the 2 of Cups reversed. This is the Devil card, key 15 of the tarot. So basically, 2s are lunar. It's lunar energy, so it's reflective. So it's, part of that is telling us, be reflective. Again, work on being less reactive. I wanted to say non-reactive, but that's a little bit redundant because we're going to react. And our nervous system is set up to react to the environment, but to be, again, to be able to not feed into those reactions, but rather to be in a place of stillness to observe them as they're happening. It's almost like throwing a pebble in the water and just observing the ripples from that in a way. So that's 2 energy. It's moon, it's lunar, it's intuitive. It's also about relationships. So the 2 wands, the wand is fire. Wand is about energy. Wands can be about career. There's sort of this feeling that the figure, having the world in one hand, kind of like the world in his hand, carrying a staff. So I'll show you a little bit more close up. With the in this deck, it looks like the sun setting or rising in the background. He's kind of looking over the water and looking over his domain. the one thing I feel like that they're saying, as a message for us is, as you're looking at your accomplishments, don't ignore like you're holding the world in your hands. So it's kind of like we can get caught up in what's going on out there, out there, without necessarily being aware of what's going on in here. And the world can represent knowledge also. It's the earth, right? It's the world, and we have the world in our hands, and we can be, so I feel like part of the message is also, not to be afraid to speak up, use discernment, and don't just willfully get into arguments and create all that bad energy. Again, Sharita talks about this a lot. Put your energy into those that are reachable and teachable. Like, let's not waste our time and energy for people that are not ready to get the message. Basically, just send them love, God bless them, and step back. Basically, but to me, that's also saying that you guys have some knowledge. You have some expertise. The world may try to suppress it, but not to be afraid to use your voice to help yourself and to help guide others. And then the Two of Cups. I mean, cups is emotions. Cups can be about relationships. It can be about synergy between two different people or two different parties or two different energies. The balance of the male and the female. Um, Now, this is kind of telling a story because the Devil card is that which holds us at bay. That which keeps us earthbound or keeps us from spreading our wings and advancing and growing. Basically, I don't take the devil as evil or negative, especially not in the tarot. The devil can be a teacher also. Um, I forgot which version it was of the Bible. One of the first ones that I read. But they talk about the Lucifer taking a third of the angels, the dark angels into the underworld and wreaking havoc. But at the end of the day, the devil returned back to, or Lucifer, I should say, returned back to God once the work was done, and once all the problems were solved. Humanity had grown to its next level, basically. So, and since I'm getting biblical in the book of Revelation, they talk about the number 666. Well, 666 is not evil, and it doesn't even talk about that being the number of the devil. It talks about the number of the beast, the number of man. That there's a difference there. So, it's kind of like understanding the lower natures within us, as evolving beings who were once cave people, very, very brutal, that still have those primitive instincts inside, yet working to evolve to a higher state of consciousness and a higher state of being. So it's like the thing is, the devil can only tempt, right? That's part of biblical teaching, and we mustn't be afraid of the devil. Basically, we have, sometimes we have to face the devil head on. So this is also the sign Capricorn. So we're not saying that all Capricorns are devils, by the way. Just put that out there. But as far as what's going on in our lives, um, firstly, I think a lot of people, and this has been coming up a lot in different ways, are going to be ending friendships, ending relationships, ending jobs, ending relationships with certain ways of life, certain ways of living. Two is about duality. We're still in Gemini season for another day or two. Um, so before too long, Mars is going to be in Gemini for 7 months. Um, we need to again decide which way we're going to go. Society's going to split. There's going to be the like the things like artificial intelligence, the metaverse. Which in and of itself is a great thing. It's technology, but we have to understand like who's going to be controlling that, who's going to be making money off of that, how's that going to be used as a tool of control or manipulation or brainwashing or programming, if it is at all. But we should understand these things. But then there's the other side of people that don't really want to get so caught up in like the artificial, like AE, artificial intelligence. Remember, that's still artificial, even though it's intelligence. Um, what am I trying to say here? But Um, but the idea is that we want to develop our spirits, we want to develop ourselves. And these things, again, these could be things that tempt us. We can equate some of the technology that's coming out with this devil card here, in my way of thinking, anyways. The devil can only tempt. And once the artificial intelligence keeps advancing, the metaverse is in place and everything, we can have these virtual experiences that seem very real or whatever, but it's still, again, there's a system of control, a system of leveraging that appears it's going to be behind it. And we can also experience this in our in our realities, in our real lives. So I'm also aware of things like med beds and celestial chambers and all these advances. Again, technology, if used properly, is an amazing thing, but it should be there as a tool, as an augmentation, not a substitute for developing ourselves. And one of the things that I'm a little bit leery of, as more technologies become available, and again with med beds, which are purported to be able to heal a lot of things that are unhealable by current medical knowledge. And in fact, growing limbs is one of the things I've heard about that. The thing is, we can learn to do this with our minds, and whenever we're talking about technology, we're also talking about potential glitches, like what just happened this morning with my computer and this technology. I almost couldn't do tarot time today because of it. So everything, there's always a flaw in the system when it comes to technology, but there's no flaw in your heart. There's no flaw in spirit. There's no flaw in developing your God-given abilities, to activating your dormant DNAs, to heal yourself, and to learn how to grow your own new limbs, and learn how to astral travel, and all these things that we have that are written into the DNA, but they're currently dormant. So what I feel, and we're looking hundreds of years, but what I feel is like this technology is going to be a tool for control and for leveraging, of the masses. And it's kind of like the same old, the select few have dominion over the great many. But in time, it's going to all blend, and technology is going to start to become a tool of enhancing our spiritual growth and enhancing our progress, rather than retarding it in favor of these shortcuts that technology can provide. Hopefully that makes some sense to you guys. Anyways, so think, stop before you react. Like when you feel the hormones raging, whether it's anger or fear or whatever, try stepping back and taking a deep breath, because there's going to be, it feels to me like there's going to be a lot of tension, a lot of anger in the air. It feels to me like there's going to be, this may show some unfavorable rulings with things like Roe versus Wade, or things of those natures. I'm not sure the exact relevance in current events or whatever, but I think there's going to be more stress with that. Again, there's also things that may get mandated with COVID. They just the FDA just approved uh, vaccines for children under 5 years old. And we talked at great length. In fact, I did a whole live stream about 4 months ago about how I felt that the the lab leak theory of like several, a half a year ago, if I even said that, this video could get taken down, just to put that out there. Now it's okay to put that out there. But they're saying how that and the cover-ups with the emails that Fauci was receiving from the virologist was going to be really, really, really big news. Hasn't quite happened yet. It's still suppressed. But interesting development is that the WHO is opening up the investigations once again after shutting it down, that this may possibly, we'll say for sake of arguments, leaked from a lab in Wuhan, excuse me. It's like, oh yeah, it's from the bats. where are the bats? Well, we can't find any infected bats, but we know it's from the bats. It's like, well, what about that facility over there that studies and um, manufactures and researches coronavirus from bats? What about that? Could it have been from the? Oh, no, 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 that can't be. That's impossible. It's from the bats. Well, where are the bats? Well, we can't find them. But could it be from? No, 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 that's impossible. I mean, that's kind of like what we've been up against. Now, I've been, again, listening to some of the not the conspiracy theorists, but virologists and people like that, and they basically saying, not only is this, very extremely unlikely to have been a natural virus, um, but also the delivery system and everything suggest, we're using the word suggest, we're using the word alleged to the YouTube algorithm lords, just to let you know that it's alleged to target humans and to be engineered by the way it's constructed. So again, that's a debate. If there's something to it, maybe it'll come out. But anyways, again, so we may see some things coming up, some things boiling up, but the devil card tries to squash it basically. So anyways, let's move on, because I know time is ticking and all that stuff. It's in 12/3 month. Oh, thank you for that, Sharita, for sharing that. Where do we want? Oh, let me pull a Native American card too. I have these as well as I normally do on a Sunday morning. Um, um, MDR saying it's about as natural as bleach blondes. Yeah. I mean, I being that I'm very in tune with my body and energy, and when I got COVID, I knew I had it, and I was like, this ain't natural. I mean, that was my feeling anyway. Again, just my opinions. Um, but whatever the case may be, whatever the case may be, the point is that rather than trying to rack our brains figuring things out, I think our focus needs to be in what we're going to do about it, and I think the answers continue to go within, be in your heart center, when the heart and elevated emotion and frequency of gratitude, appreciation, love, and all those emotions that brings you into a vibration where the negativity has a much harder time of reaching you. And in fact, if you can hold those frequencies, you just can't have a negative thought or emotion. You can't hate. When you're in the vibration of pure love, you can't hate. You can't hold the grudges. You just cannot do that. Now, granted, as soon as you come out of that state, they may come back. I mean, they may be there and they may not have gone anywhere. But while you're holding those frequencies, it's just not possible. Um, so anyways, hopefully that makes sense. But the idea is that is the eye of the storm. We talk about being in the eye of the storm. Be aware there's a storm out there, but be in that calm center. Your heart is that calm center. Meditation, you do your daily meditation. It's more important than ever to have a daily spiritual practice. Um, doing heart brain coherence is good for the immune system. It's good for your health. Eating well, being in nature, restoring, the vibration, the frequencies, the flows of nature can clear all this stuff out of your system and out of your aura if you just sit and allow that to happen. We live in a world where we're breathing in plastic now. Everybody has microplastics in their system now. Basically, we have to take care of ourselves, and our bodies will help us to handle that. Anyhow, happy solstice. Happy Father's Day to the dads, people that have dads in spirit. I think we're all fathers on Father's Day. Well, I am a father, but we're all fathers on Father's Day, just like we're all Irish on St. Patrick's Day, right? All right, so here's the card we got: Matriarch of Shields. I think that translates to the Queen of Pentacles in the tarot, by the way. Um, and we got the King of Pentacles earlier as our meditation card. Pentacles can be about money also. So again, keep an eye on the trends of finance, especially if you have investments. Very obviously very volatile time. We've been talking about that for a while. Um, I'm sure Sharita, when she does her live thing, will talk about the shift of the U.S. into its personal 8 year, what's that, a 17 8 year from a 16 7 year. That deals a lot with money. It's the planet Saturn also, so it deals a lot with those energies. Oh, so what do you have? It looks like a black dog, um, which can be an ally. There's a path. It just feels to me like he's kind of like the feeling is almost like oh, it's a warrior of shields. I'm sorry, not the matriarch of shields, the warrior of shields, which is the knight of pentacles in the tarot. And it just seems like it's kind of like a message, understand, who your friends, who your allies are. I kind of was starting a point and skipped over it because another thought came in, but we have to find, who we're aligned to. That's part of the split of society. That are we aligned to this technology and these virtual experiences, these artificial experiences, feeling real in the moment, or are we going to, be part of a community dedicated to spiritual growth and dedicated to helping the planet and helping humanity as well as all living beings, here on Earth, including Mother Earth herself. So, dogs are also our best friends, right? So they're our allies, they're our helpers as well. This is a dark dog, it's black. Understand the dark side can be an ally, it can be a teacher. Don't always think of it as positive and negative, good and evil. Every day is going to be followed by a night, and every night's going to be followed by a day as well. So, listen to you rather than try to suppress any negative thoughts or feelings that you have. And that's not what I was saying before. I was saying to observe them, not to suppress them, rather than let them be your advisor, let them be your teacher. They're there for a reason. They came there for a reason. You can understand that reason. And once you get the reason, then you understand what it is that you may need to do to purge some old energy, some limitations, some old ways of thinking. You remember, and this is um a quote from my first martial arts teacher, Bujinin, that within every question contains its own answer. From something with dialectical materialism, which you don't have to agree with the with the philosophy of that because it's Marxist, um, but there's some spirituality, interwoven into it somehow in some way. But in any event, it's part of dialectical materialism. But um, but basically, within every question lies its own answer if you understand the nature of the question. So our job as spiritual teachers is to understand the nature of the question, whether it's the question of existence, existentialism, and all that kind of stuff. So going right along, let's do our totem animal cards. Um, so I want to see if we get the blank. I left a blank in here. um, okay, so please spirit guide me to the right animal. This one, we got the turkey, the giveaway. Is a turkey, right? Key 31. Number 31. Turkey's about the giveaway. Turkeys give of their life every autumn so that we may have a ritual of giving thanks, right? So this is about giving thanks. The turkey is really the national bird. It got changed to the eagle. I think either one is a great choice, honestly. Um, yeah, but turkeys, they're looked at as kind of these sort of goofy, dumb birds or whatever, but they're actually, from what I understand, quite intelligent and quite majestic. So let me read a little something from the medicine cards about this from the book by Jamie Sams and David Carson, and finding the way of wisdom through animals. Of course, when I work with medicine cards, I'm only going to get the North American. At some point, I may switch back to some of my other animal cards. So turkey's giveaway. Turkey is actually thought to be the giveaway eagle or south eagle of many native peoples. The philosophy of giveaway was practiced by many tribes. Simply stated, it is the deep and abiding recognition of the sacrifices of both self and others. People in modern day society who have many times more than they need should study the noble turkey who sacrifices itself so that we may live. In turkey's death, we have our life. Honor turkey. So that's our totem animal. I feel like the message is to stay in that perspective. And again, we have to work on staying in positive vibes when we're swimming in a toxic sea. Basically, it takes a little bit of work. But by going back to the energy of turkey, and understanding, that we're making a sacrifice. We're giving of ourselves to try to help others and try to help to make this life not like swimming in a sea full of sewage and toxicity, but rather we're trying to work to clean it up and everything. So meditate on that. That would be my suggestion. And last but not least, let's pull the angel card for the week. Okay, this is from Doreen Virtue's Messengers of the Angels. Got this one. We got Isaiah. So this is the card that I pulled. And the caption is, it's a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. I am watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you during these changes. So there you have it. So definitely, keep working with the angels, keep opening your heart, and keep breathing through the heart. We have a lot of different videos on different facets of doing heart brain coherence and related practices and stuff like that. So again, it's our birthday. We're going to do a live mediumship here on the 21st, Tuesday at 7 p.m. free, of course, and then we do giveaways on that also. So we'll be applying turkey medicine to that. Wednesday, we're going to do some solstice channeling with the master teacher. So they are beings of light that work with us as well as other extraterrestrial groups and other intelligences in the process and purpose of awakening. So they work with our frequencies. And so there's some verbal messages, but it's mostly an energetic channel. So they work with our frequencies to clear old stuff, to help to upgrade our systems, to be able to transmit and handle greater volumes of light and greater volumes of frequency. And they help to awaken our dormant DNA codes. I mean, they don't do it for us. They just help provide the energetic assistance and the frequencies to help us in that process. And more often than not, people feel it, feel energy through the body when we're working. Sometimes people have crown chakra opening to get very, very strong visions and stuff like that. So hope you can join us. And that's going to be on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 22nd. Next Sunday at 5, Doreen of the Children's School of Yoga is going to do some solstice yoga for us. And on the 29th, Sharita Starr is going to give us our astrological, numerological summer outlook. And during that live stream, I may input a few of things that our spirit are saying, because Sharita and I often confer. And if you guys live in the Hudson Valley, what date are we on? Is it July the 10th? I'll get some information up on that. But if you guys that are in the Hudson Valley or the Capital Region or the Berkshires, we're going to do an event near Hudson, New York, where I do the mediumship. She does the astrology and numerology. So often we confer on things and what spirit is saying. She can show me in the numbers in the astrology, where that fits, using that tool of spirit communication also. All right. that's what I got for you. Have an amazing day. Happy Father's Day. Thanks for being here. I love you. And we'll see you next time. Namaste.